So I'm going to lay down one for him to play off of, and just to prove that I can read. Even though I was brought up in the Chicago snow. I'm being unable to see the sense of placing something beautiful in the lines of this poem. Written after reading a survivor's account of how the trustees in the little camp paired up unusually tall prisoners with short ones so that the human waste they carried from the latrines would slap out of the boxes, affording the inmate guards their morning amusement. If it is true that while imprisoned in the little camp of Buchenwald, men and women were mismatched purposely to carry entertainment back and forth in shit boxes held lopsidedly by Laurel and Hardy's, made to move quick by the ordered insistence of inmate neighbors now become taskmasters in an evil play put on to pass the dull days by nurturing death to its final blossoms. If this is the case, there is no room in this poem for the subjective observations of a hummingbird's wing or tulip sprouts. If men have placed kerosene ointments on the skins of night and torched black heaven's angels into howling hoots of horror, while Jesus on the lips of fair women hollered praise to their God-fearing men for igniting the cherry charcoal spectacles that needed to be illuminated. For example, the black bugger didn't know his place. If this be the case, there is no room in this poem for clever turns of a phrase or language that makes language more important than life. If removed from the proximity of consequences, celebrated and comfortable internationalities, primping for the media on high-minded pedestals can still surreptitiously bulldoze technology through the aching and checkered earth, obliterating the last outpost of indigenous freedom while concealing their global butchery behind the fashionable pages of promotional glitter. If so, there is no room in any poem for cavalier quips or arduous allusions. We are past the days of innocence. No longer can we look on at the elegance of art and chime romantic utterances to bird and sky. Less than a shivering gasp from our utopian ease rise the sickly fumes of fetid squalor and human waste hauled from pit to garden by casts of characters made to march, to a systematic numbing by privileged guardians managing meticulously the modern-day manners of respectable corporate lords and celebrity kings who buy their beauty from subsidized poets who dare not tell them who they are. No, this poem will not weave the glory of royal intellect into tapestries of needle-pointed grace. This poem's face is bony and burning. The smoke that circles from its nose stains the sky, and even the birds have lost their will to sing. No, this poem will not be lyrical. It is ugly and odorous as that smell, that sweet smell. Can you tell me, what is that smell, that sweet smell we're smelling now?
Mark in his introduction mentioned The Who, and I am guilty of having a number of poems that deal one way or another with rock and roll, kindly or otherwise. So I'm going to do Sufficiency of the Actual. It's the title poem of my new collection, Sufficiency of the Actual. Had I freed the one-legged cricket twitching in the roses' spider-webbed twilight, I'd become patron saint of one-legged crickets twitching in spider-webbed twilight. I'd be saint of cracked song, patron of the incomplete and longing. But then, saintly though I might be, the spider goes hungry. Anyway, there's already a multitude, patrons of the broken web, unrisen bread, lost keys, So many, this book says, their duties overlap. Say, patron saint of fractions. See, incomplete and longing. That's who the Who prayed to. Trashing instruments as pop art auto-destruction. This Pete Townsend's phrase, his name, a line and demarcation. The young like to break things, even themselves. The young like a summer drum you put your foot through. Thump worship. John Entwistle, the Who's bassist, stored all his parts in a wooden coffin box until middle age donned its knee-high socks. Then he undid the undoing, cobbling 5 guitars into one he dubbed Frankenstein, whose name my friend Frank and I share with it, and well, with Wollstonecraft's romantic sci-fi tragic victim hero. Together, we made a creature the smarty pants party drunks called Frankenstein from the keg-drenched kitchen. Aren't we all cobbled of pieces, glued and screwed and strung together, ready to snap? Are we instruments some huge hand plucks? Are we the roses or the cricket's cracked song? And redemption, in the end, Entwistle's estate auctioned Frankenstein for a cool 100,000. Frank did 10 years in the county orphanage. See, incomplete and longing. His mother remarried a furnace whose pilot wouldn't stay lit. You've heard about the stutterer who, falling from a ladder, is cured of his affliction, but made suddenly blind. What he no longer sees, he sings about instead.